Welcome to Barca News. It is January 6, 2026, and Hansi Flick in the pre-match press conference addressed the Joao Cancelo signing. And I'm going to tell you everything our German coach said. Also, Flick discussing what's going on with Ronald Araujo. Not too reassuring. And finally, Barcelona were impressed by an Espanyol defender. And I'm going to tell you who it is. We have a lot to discuss. So let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and tomorrow is a big day because tomorrow is the semi-final of the Spanish Super Cup where Barcelona will be facing off against Athletic Club de Bilbao in Saudi, not in the I guess I was going to say in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, but in Saudi Arabia. And of course, today the team trained one last time ahead of that match, and their training was in Jeddah. Now, big concern because one player who did not train with the group was Lamine Yamal. The cameras did not catch Lamine Yamal training with his teammates. This, of course, raised a lot of alarm bells with many fans wondering, is Lamine Yamal injured? Is he going to be available for tomorrow? And while the club have confirmed that Lamine Yamal did train, he didn't train with the group. However, he did train indoors in the gym where he followed a specific training plan that the club designed for him, that the medical staff designed for him. Now, Barcelona did not give any more details. We don't know if that's because maybe his pubalgia is bothering him, or maybe he's recovering from some kind of discomfort. But one thing that the club did confirm is that Lamine Yamal did train. However, he trained separately and that he will be available for tomorrow's match. Now, we don't know if Lamine Yamal will be able to start or he's going to come off the bench, or maybe he won't play at all. But he is available and he did train, but he did it separately away from the group. Hopefully, this is nothing serious, and hopefully we'll see Lamine Yamal tomorrow because, of course, we do need our best player in this semifinal of the Spanish Super Cup, which will be Barcelona's first chance to win a trophy during this 2025-2026 season. Now, speaking of tomorrow's match, of course, Hansi Flick participated in the pre-match press conference, and he addressed a big story that broke out yesterday, which is that Barcelona are on the verge. Oh, there's Lamine Yamal. I forgot to put his picture. They're on the verge of signing Joao Cancelo. As you know, Cancelo is looking to leave Al Hilal since Inzaghi, his coach, is not counting on him. And Cancelo wants minutes in preparation for the 2026 World Cup. He offered himself to Barcelona, and even though he did have a deal, or there was an agreement, I should say, between Inter Milan and Al Hilal, he decided to wait for Barcelona, and then Barcelona did come through, and Barcelona are set to sign Joao Cancelo on loan until the end of the season. And of course, Hansi Flick was asked, hey, Flick, what's going on with Cancelo, with the signing? What do you think about this since you wanted a center back? Now, pay attention to Hansi Flick's statements because a lot of people today told me in the comment section, Mo, you're wrong. Hansi Flick said great things about Cancelo. He approves it. You're an idiot. You have no idea what you're talking about. All right, let's see how big of an idiot I am by analyzing what Hansi Flick had to say. Now, this is what the German coach had to say about the Joao Cancelo signing. He said, we'll see him in training. Oh, sorry. Hold on. That's the wrong slide. There you go. I spoke with my staff, and we think that when Ronald Araujo is back, we have good alternatives at center back. Joao can play at both fullback position. It's not a done deal, but I'd be happy if it goes through. We talked about signing a center back, but this is a good option for these 6 months. You know the situation better than I do. We are in a situation where we have to be smart in signings. It's not like the other teams that can pay hundreds of millions of players, but it's okay. For young players, it's good. They can develop, and we trust them. Now we have the opportunity to have an experienced player for the attack. We have to work on it. Again, we have the opportunity to have an experienced player for the attack. Now, what is Hansi Flick trying to tell you? Because according to people, Hansi Flick, that's it. He wanted this signing, and he's so happy, and I'm the idiot who doesn't know anything about football. Well, what Hansi Flick is telling you here with these statements is that he wanted an option for the defense. He requested a defender, a center back more specifically, and instead they brought up Cancelo, which he thinks is a good option for the attack. Now, what did I say before when I said that Cancelo was a mistake? I said Cancelo is a great player in the attack, but defensively speaking, he's not good at all. We saw him many times never tracking back, staying up top, and when he did, He made very bad mistakes, defensively speaking. And what is Hansi Flick telling you? That Cancelo's a good option in attack. What does that mean? That he is saying the same thing that I am. That Cancelo's good attack-wise, but defensively, he's not. Now, if people say, oh, Flick approved it and you're wrong, he's just saying we were looking for his center back and they brought me Cancelo. So in other words, he's like, I want a defensive option. I wanted a center back. They brought me Cancelo, so I'm going to look at it from the positive way that Cancelo is a good option in the attack. Not what Flick had actually asked for, which is a defensive option. It's an attacking option. But what do I know, right? Is Hansi Flick saying the same thing I said? But I'm the idiot. I feel like some people were never taught reading comprehension. Like it's like they read things and they just don't understand what exactly they're reading. But anyways, hopefully this clarifies things. Like I said before, I think it's a mistake. But again, he will be signing for Barcelona. So I hope for the best. I hope that Hansi Flick will be able to get the best out of Joao Cancelo. After all, we know that Flick is a miracle worker. We saw what he did with Rafinha, turning him into Coutinho. We saw what he did with Gerard Martin, turning him into Gerard Maldini. We saw what he did with Ferran Torres. So if there's anyone that can get the best out of Cancelo, I think it's Hansi Dieter Flick. So hopefully, Flick will be able to extract the best out of Cancelo, and hopefully Cancelo's 6-month loan will be impactful and will help the team win trophies. Now, Hansi Flick was asked about Ronald Araujo because, as you know, Ronald Araujo has been out for almost a month. After that red card against Chelsea, he went on a spiritual retreat. He went to Uruguay because he needed a mental break. He's back. He's traveled to Saudi Arabia. So he was asked, hey, is he ready? Can he play? And this is the first slide that I accidentally put out of order. But this is what Flick had to say about Araujo. We'll see him in training. I want to talk to him. We haven't decided yet. If he's ready, maybe we'll change something. Right now, he's not in our plans. These things happen. We have to take care of the players, all of them. The players are under pressure. And we're all human. We make mistakes, and we have to be there to support them. I appreciate what the club did in this situation. Ronald is a very important player for us, and one of the captains. I hope he gets back to his best. So, not reassuring words. Flick's right now saying that Araujo is not part of his plan, but things could change, depending on that talk that he's set to have with Ronald Araujo. So, we'll see how much longer Araujo will need to be fully ready. But for now, it's not looking like he is. But who knows? It might change. Maybe tomorrow he talks to Flick and says, hey, I'm ready. Put me in, coach. All right. Now on to the next bit of news, because not only did Flick speak at this press conference, but also Joao Garcia. And as you know, right now, there's a big debate. Should Joao Garcia be called up to the Spanish national team for the World Cup? I think the answer is clearly yes. I think Joao Garcia right now is the best Spanish goalkeeper. But Joao Garcia was asked about it. And this is what he said about his hopes to making it to the Spanish national team, or whether his goal is to make it to the Spanish national team. Joao Garcia said, I wouldn't set it as a goal. My goal is to keep improving in every match with Barca. Every player wants to play for the national team. If it happens, I'll be very proud. So great response by Joao Garcia saying, hey, that's not my goal. My goal is to get better. And if they call me, awesome. I think it'd be a huge, giant, colossal mistake if Luis de la Fuente does not call Joao Garcia. Now, of course, as a Barcelona fan, if I want to be selfish about it, it'd be better because then, he can rest and not risk injury. But, we have to also think, of course, the player, I'm sure he wants to go. And obviously the fair thing would be for him to go because he is the best goalkeeper in all of Spain right now. Now, speaking of Joao Garcia, you guys remember this incredible save he had against Espanyol where he pushed Gerard Martin in the way in order to block a shot. I think it was just a minute of brilliance. Just goes to show the football IQ that Joao Garcia has. Well, guess what? Someone had a problem with this. Surprise, surprise. And you'll know why I say surprise, surprise, because it was no other than this clown, the biggest clown in refereeing history, in Spanish refereeing history, Mateo Laos, one of the worst referees to ever don that uniform, the Real Madrid uniform. And Mateo Laos posted on Twitter that according to FIFA rules, what Joao Garcia did qualifies as unsportsmanship-like conduct. What? Now, plenty of referees with much better track record than him and much better careers than him have come out and said, absolutely not, that doesn't qualify under the FIFA rules. But my God, this guy, even in retirement, he's still obsessed with Barcelona, talking about what Joao Garcia did was a sportsmanship-like conduct. How about how unprofessional you were throughout your whole career, where you always made it about yourself instead of about the game? How about La Liga trophy that you robbed Barcelona when you ruled that Messi's goal that was perfectly legal was offside? and it wasn't, and that cost us a La Liga title. How about that? I think I would call that a sportsmanship-like conduct, didn't you think? But anyways, oh, and that reminds me, a few seasons ago, I remember when James Rodriguez, when he played for Real Madrid, he pushed a teammate of his, and they gave Real Madrid a penalty. You guys remember that? So apparently, if you're Real Madrid and you push a teammate, it's a penalty. But if you're a Barcelona player and you push a teammate, that's a sportsmanship-like conduct. Who knew? Anyways, let's end this video with the news about an Espanyol player, since we did just talk about the Espanyol match, because Barcelona were very impressed by an Espanyol defender during the match against Barcelona, and it was with no other than Carlos Romero. If you don't know who Carlos Romero is, he's 24 years old. He's Espanyol's left back, but he's actually a Villarreal player. He's currently on loan from Villarreal to Espanyol, and it's reported that Barcelona's staff, or Barcelona scouts, and Deco and Joao Amaral, Deco's right-hand man, were very impressed with Carlos Romero's performance. After all, he was very participative in the Espanyol's attack. He didn't commit a single foul that entire match. He had the most touches out of any Espanyol player, despite being a defender, and he won 50% of his duels. And so far this season, he has already scored 3 goals and provided 2 assists. So Barcelona very impressed with Carlos Romero. They will be tracking him until the end of the season to see maybe he could be a possible signing to compete with Alejandro Balde. Now, what's the problem? The problem is his contract doesn't expire until 2029 with Villarreal, and he does have a 45 million euro release clause, which, of course, is not a price that Barcelona would be willing to pay for a position that's not a priority right now, right? The summer priorities are center forward, center back, and left wing, depending on what happens with Marcus Rashford. Now, what's the good news? The good news is that Villarreal do currently have 2 players in that position, Pedraza and Cardona. So technically, Carlos Romero would be a surplus for them. So who knows? Maybe they would agree to a lower price. But just know that Carlos Romero has caught the attention of Barcelona. Anyways, that is all the news. That will be going live in a few more minutes, so stay tuned to the channel. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Viscarsa.